Councillor Harbour, you are proposing and I'll second, so over to you.
Thank you very much. The report is there for everybody to read. There is not actually that much to report, and much of what I was going to say has been already said by the leader in his answer to your questions over there. Basically, we are working towards a detailed submission to MHCLG in September. The current consideration by all Essex councils is the number of unitaries that are going to be across Essex. A number of councils have aligned themselves to the 5 unitary solution. Others are waiting to see the evidence and what the recommendations are. Various factors are being considered. Very short list is financial sustainability, economies of scale, streamlining services and the like. But big is not always beautiful, and there has to be a balance with democratic representation. Whereas the devolution element is clear, it is devolving certain activities from government down to a new mayor. Local government reorganisation is far, far more complex. We are working with both parties, whether it's 5 or another number of unitaries. Currently, scenarios are being selected, and detailed modelling will be done on each. The recommended scenarios probably forming 2 submissions to MHCLG in September. One will be 5 and the other will be another number. We don't know what yet. As I said, it'll be submitted in September. Of course, we don't make the decision. The decision is made by MHCLG, and that will be expected around Christmas, probably after Christmas, knowing what government is like. Then the timeline is that there will be unitary elections will take place in 2027. That elected council will be working in shadow for a year, and then will take over probably in 2028. Thank you.
Good. Any questions? Councillor Edwards?
Do we have a preferred option?
No, we don't have a preferred option until we've seen the evidence.
Any further questions? Oh, sorry, Councillor Pearce.
I've just got a couple of questions. Some of it, I did have a few more, but I think it's too early to ask those questions currently. Has the council engaged with other Essex authorities, and I imagine they have, to present a unified response to the government proposal?
Yes, despite the politics and people's views, all 15 Essex councils are working together on this.
I've got 3 questions, 2 more questions. So, how is the council preparing for the possibility of an escalated reorganisation under the new government? To actually escalate it and go faster?
That is highly unlikely. The amount of deaggregation and aggregation, i.e. unravelling and re-ravelling services and organisations that have got to take place, if anything, it'll take longer than they anticipate. They won't be able to escalate
it. My last question, I think it was, will there be opportunities for public consultation or scrutiny?
The government has already done a public consultation, but we will be coming back with a report at every cabinet on progress as we progress, not just to the September submission, but thereafter. Obviously, there is a huge amount of transition to take place. So yes, we'll be coming back and reporting monthly at cabinet meetings.
Councillor Lepper?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I don't know if you can answer this one, but on page 67, there's mention of the treatment of Thurrock Council's debt, which is quite astounding. I know it doesn't come out with any clear proposals at this stage, which is only to be expected, but no doubt your group are keeping a close eye on this, because we just don't want a situation where that debt, or a huge part of it, is allocated amongst the various, new unitary authorities. Is there any position on that? Has it been discussed at all?
I think just about every council in Essex has said that they don't want anything to do with Thurrock's debt, and that message has been passed to the government. I think their initial response was, it's not our problem, but I think they're coming around to the idea it is their problem, and that they're going to have to make some kind of contribution or to write it off. But who knows what the outcome will be.
For the avoidance of doubt in our position, I don't see a position in which Harlow taxpayers are paying for the decisions of Thurrock Council. Any further questions on this report? Sorry, Councillor Edwards, yeah.
Again, in terms of the development of business case A and business case B, so will the progress on the discussions and whatever it is the Harlow contribution to those discussions will be, will there be will the progress on the discussion you said would be coming back for Cabinet, will there be an opportunity for us as councillors to have a discussion about the, not just within Cabinet, but also a greater opportunity within Council to have a discussion about that in order to get a greater understanding of what the options that are going to be argued for both cases. So I didn't articulate that very well, but basically what I want to know is if there's case B, what's the argument for case B? Where does Harlow Council stand on the argument for case B? If it's case A, what's the argument for case A? Where does Harlow stand on case A? Prior to the decision being
The very
made.
quick answer is that decision will be made by full council. So it'll be put to a vote in full council. So there'll be proper briefing, etc. Well in good time for all councillors to take a view.
Just to add to that, all councils and officers, including Harlow, are contributing to both scenarios at the moment as they're developed. But nothing has been determined or developed yet.
Councillor Gunt.
Since we've raised the debts at Thurrock, I thought I ought to ask about the surplus here at Harlow. Are we finding that our neighbouring authorities are keen to partner with us in unitarisation because of our very healthy management of our finances?
Any takers on that one? As I say often, all good things in the world come from Harlow, least of all its council, and I'm sure plenty of others are keen to take part in that. Any further questions? No? Any comments? Councillor Leppard.
Yes, thank you, Chair. In response to Councillor Gunn's comment, I imagine there will be considerable, let's say, due diligence undertaken with whoever the partners are, or prospective partners in these new unitaries. Because indeed, that will be a risk. That we have very well managed funds, and we find that our partner is running a huge deficit. So those sorts of issues are going to have to be addressed. But no doubt that's part of the process.
Just to say that quite a few of the discussions about LGR have all been about risk minimisation and what the impact's going to be. I point out that this is also an opportunity to ensure that future local government is far better focused and streamlined and actually delivers to residents. It is a huge, it's the biggest shake-up in 50 years. So we should take full advantage of it, not just be frightened that it's going to do things that we don't want.
Any further comments? No? Anything you want to sum up with? Excellent, very good. In which case, if I put the recommendations to Cabinet, are they agreed?
Agreed.